Good afternoon, dear students. Now I am back with another chapter, Matter in our surroundings. So let's get started. So firstly, let us focus on the name, Matter in our surroundings. So matter in our surroundings. Now, what actually this matter is? Actually, matter is everything around us. Us human beings are also matter. Everything that occupies space and have some mass and also can be felt by any of our senses is known as a matter. So, let us note down. So, what is matter? Everything around us. Around. So everything around us is a matter. So everything in our surrounding is a matter. So in this chapter we are really focusing on matter. So let us which occupies space and occupies space have mass and can be felt by any of our senses. Now, this is the definition of matter. Now, let us look at some examples. For example, everything, this marker, this table, and even this laptop is a matter. Let us point out table, chair, this whiteboard. They are matters. They are simple matters all around us. Now, table, chair, whiteboard, etc. These are matters. So, our feelings such as hate, love, they are matter. No, they are not matter because they does not occupy space. They do not have any mass, and they also cannot be felt by any of our senses. So, smell. This is not matter, but smell of perfume. This is a matter as it can be felt by any of our senses. That's why it is matter. So we have discussed about matter. So ancient philosophers think that a matter is mainly composed of five major things, that is earth, sky, water, fire. So let us point out ancient scientists believe that matter is made up of matter is basically made up of made up of earth, fire, water, sky, and earth, fire, water, sky, and I think earth, fire, water, sky. These so ancient scientists believed that matter is basically made up of five substances: earth, fire, water, and sky. So let us move on towards our modern scientists. So especially our modern scientists believe that matter can be classified into three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid, liquid, and gas. Now, the molecules of solid are very closely packed and they look such like them. Their particles are very closely packed, and in the case of liquid, they have spaces between them. They can move, and in gas, the molecules are freely fluid. That's all about the introduction about matter in our surroundings. Let us move on. Please take a screenshot if you want. Now, moving on next topic. Now, let us discuss about the properties of matter, which are very essential. Now, let us talk about properties of matter. Properties of matter. So, let's talk about the properties of matter. We will understand these properties by several examples. Now, the first property is that a matter is formed due to many molecules and many atoms. Their particles are very small. So we can point out the particles of matter are very small. Are very 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 small. Now we know the particles of matter are very small. Let us take an example. Let us do an activity. Take 5 glasses. I have drawn here 5 glasses. Fill these 5 containers with water. Now you have filled those 5 containers. Now take potassium permanganate crystals. Now, here I have taken, let's say, potassium permanganate crystals. Potassium, potassium. Now, I have taken a solution of potassium permanganate. Now, I drop 1 spoon of potassium permanganate into this glass. Firstly, let me make this. First, glass, second, third, and fourth. Now, drop 1 spoon of potassium permanganate into this glass. Let's say that this is a solution of potassium permanganate. Now, drop 5 ml, let's say it is 5 ml, 5 ml into this glass. Now, this is here we have 5 ml potassium permanganate crystal from this glass container. Then do so with this one. Take 10 ml from this side and then drop potassium permanganate into this glass. You will find that here we have brown color. Here we have pink. Now the pink color will on the fourth glass will appear to be totally different. There is no sign of uh, uh, potassium permanganate into the fourth glass. Now let's say it is potassium permanganate solution. That is good. Now here we have light pinkish color we have. Now you can understand how small the particles are. Now from this example we understood that how small these particles of matter are. As we have from only and only 10 ml of potassium permanganate and the color doesn't disappears. There in the last moment we have pink color. So that's why we can consider that the particles of matter are very small. So I think you have understood this property of matter very easily. Moving to the next property. I think you have understood this property that the particles of matter are very small. Moving to the next property that let us note down the first property. The particles of matter are very, very small. Moving to the next property. This property tells us that particles of matter have spaces between them. Of matter have spaces between them. Now, let us understand that particles of matter have spaces between them. Now, take your hand and move it into the air. You can easily move your hand into the air as the particles of air have spaces between them. This is a case of gas. On the other hand, there is liquid. A diver can easily cut through water because the particles of water have spaces between them. On the other hand, when we talk about solids, we cannot easily move our hand or anything from the solid as the particles of solid have very less space between them, but they have space between them. So we can point out that particles of matter have spaces between them. Now, moving to the next property. Particles of matter attract attract each other. Now the particles of matter attract each other. Now look at this marker. I have here this marker. I have only and only lifted or the uppermost part of this marker. I have not lifted this part. Now, the molecules of this region attract the whole marker in my hand. That's why particles of matter attract each other. Now, I cannot cut through this duster as this duster have attraction between them. I cannot easily broke this because it is a solid and we know that the force of attraction between the solids is very high. On the other hand, if we will try to move our hand into the air, so we can easily do it because the force of attraction in the air is very low and it is very high. In solids, in liquids, we have normal. Especially in liquids, we can easily move our hand or a diver can easily cut through water because the force of attraction of the molecules is very low. And in solids we know the force of attraction is very high. Moving to the next point. Particles of matter are very small. Particles of matter have spaces between them. Particles of matter attract each other. These are the major properties of matter. Let us move to the next topic. If you want to take this screenshot, you can. Now, moving to the states of matter. Moving towards the state of matter, very familiar with the three states of matter, which are solid, liquid, gas. That was solid, liquid, and gas. As we know, the particles of solids are very closely packed. Let's say the solid. This is the solid, and these are its molecules. And the spaces between the molecules of solid is very, very high. Means the solid are very closely packed, and it also has force of attraction between them. This is a solid. Moving towards the liquid, we know the molecules of liquid are moving. And nowadays, a new property is being arrived at the particles of matter are constantly moving. This property is newly found. You must know this property too. This is gas. There is a very low force of attraction between the gases. Now you have understood the three states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. You have read about their molecules. Let us back to their properties. So this is very, very important. Properties properties of states of matter. Now let us talk about the properties of states of matter. Solid, this is liquid, and this is gas. Now, moving towards solid. The particles of solid have very high force of attraction. On the other hand, liquids have low force of attraction than solids. And in gases, there is no sign of attraction or attraction between their particles. Now, we have discussed that particles of solid have very high force of attraction. On the other hand, liquids have low force of attraction than solids, but they have attraction. There is no sign of attraction between the particles of gases there. Now, moving toward the solid, they cannot be compressed. Cannot be compressed. Solids cannot be compressed. But in liquids, have no compressibility than gas. On the other hand, gases are compressible. Now, solids cannot be compressed. Liquids have low compressibility than gases. On the other hand, gases are compressible. So, moving towards the next. So, the particles of solid are not moving. There is no movement in solids. On the other hand, particles of liquids have low low movement than gases. Now, particles of liquids have low movement than gases. Particles, the particles of gases are constantly moving. Now, the particles of gases are constantly moving. Now, the next moving towards the next property. Okay, does not possess fluidity, especially fluidity is the capability of to flow. possess fluidity, they can easily float, but less than gases. In every state, gases are constrained. Now they can easily flow, but they cannot flow as gases can. Gases can easily possess fluidity. Now, that was all about the properties of matter. Let us read them. The particles of solid uh, have very high force of attraction. They cannot be compressed, and the particles are not moving. They does not possess fluidity. On the other hand, liquids have low force of attraction than solids. Liquids have low compressibility than gases. Particles of liquids have low movement than gases. They can easily flow, but they are less than the gases. In case of gases, there is no sign of attraction between the particles. Instead, they are compressible, and particles of gases are constantly moving, and gases can easily possess fluidity. So please take a screenshot. Now, a new thing which come up here is especially solids possess rigidity and liquid possess fluidity, fluidity and gases possess compressibility. Especially, these are the main three properties of solid, liquid, and gases. You must remember these properties. Now, firstly, let us talk about diffusion. Then we will cover this diffusion. We will learn the concept of diffusion by some questions. Let us have those questions. Now, first question we have: to smell the smell of perfume spreads all over the room. Second question. The smell of perfume spread all over the room. Why? When you light a candle, in your room, you will find that suddenly the whole room get warm. Not completely. Why? Is it? Why a diver can easily easily dive through water? The answer to these questions is diffusion. So let us understand that how is it the smell of perfume spread all over the room. Why? This is due to the force of attraction between the particles of matter. As we know, the particles of matter have attraction between them. So, due to that attraction, the smell of perfume spread all over the room. This process is mainly known as diffusion. On the other hand, when you light a candle in a room, uh, the room gets little warm. So why is it so? Because the particles of matter are constantly moving. That's why the warm particles of matter are then mixed into the air which is around us, and that's why a room will heat up. So why a diver can easily dive through water? Because particles of matter have spaces between them, so that's why a diver can easily cut through water. So let us recap what we have learned today. So now we have learned about matter. Then we learned about discovery of matter, discovery of matter. Then we have discussed about properties of matter, of matter, which are the particles of matter. The particles of matter are very small, are very, very small. On the other hand, they are constantly moving. They are constantly moving. They are constantly moving, and they have attraction between them, attraction between them, attraction between them, and they're constantly moving, there are spaces between them, They have spaces between them. Now we have learned about states of matter, states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. In solid, we understood that they possess rigidity. On the other hand, liquid possess fluidity and gases possess compressibility. Then we talk about the process of diffusion. Fusion. Diffusion. Matter we have understood everything that occupies space have mass or can be felt by our senses. The matter, discovery of matter, we know that ancient scientists discovered that there are five substances from which a matter is formed, and therefore modern scientists discovered which introduced the three states, and we have discovered these three states right here. Right now, properties of matter, states of matter, diffusion. Now, this was all about a recap. So, thank you for watching. Bye bye.